西方。
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and let us get straight to the point. Please, subscribe! Come on, you don't have any. Oh, anyway, back to the video.
Before proceeding with the video, I would like to bring up my thoughts first. I first talked about Takagi-san almost 2 years ago when I told my thoughts about it and how it changed me for the better. I loved every minute of it, and now it has become one of my favorite shows, both of the 2 seasons. It was wholesome, it was funny, and it was enjoyable. Yet, something is missing from it. And the latest season finally gave us that. As to what I meant by that, you'll find out soon enough. So, for now, listen to what I have to say. So, what's changed and what hasn't? If you compare the 3rd season to the 1st and 2nd one, you would think that the 3rd season is just a different show overall. Is that a good thing or a bad one? Before diving into a conclusion, let me point out the changes first. The new season introduces us to another story in Nishikata and Takagi's youth. This new story that I'm talking about is something that made me feel a breath of fresh air after finishing the season. It wasn't redundant at all. When I watched the first episode, I stupidly thought that it would be another 12-episode marathon of Takagi and Nishikata trying to win over the other. But boy, was I wrong. I got presented with a story of young people discovering a whole new perspective on life. A transition from childhood ignorance to understanding what feelings meant. The first few episodes started slow, with the first episode in particular being confusing at first. But once I finished the entire show, it made sense eventually. We pick off from where Season 2 left off. Nishikata is still unaware of what his actions towards Takagi made her feel. The definition of love is something that is still not instilled in his vocabulary. Of course, he should know the parental love that he had received as a child, but the idea of loving someone romantically was something undiscovered. Who would have thought that after all those events, from the school trip to the summer festival, Nishikata still couldn't grasp the concept of love? Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, he hasn't. But the new season finally gave us that closure. In the first episode, I saw quirky yet understandable scenes, revealed to be dreams of both Nishikata and Takagi. We find out that the summer festival is still the most recent big event for the two when considering their relationship. In Takagi's dream, we see her and Nishikata holding hands under cherry blossom trees, which would seem to be just another dream without meaning. But later on, we find out that it does. The second episode presented scenes that looked like Tom and Jerry due to the lack of voice lines. Other than that, Takagi reads a book and tells Nishikata a line from it that definitely wouldn't matter later on. In the 3rd episode, we find out that Nishikata worries for Takagi, which is a development as we don't see him act like this that much. In other words, the 3rd season shows us aspects of the same characters that we haven't seen before. Now, let us go and discuss what is arguably one of my favorite episodes of this series, the Cultural Festival. I know this festival is literally in most rom-com anime that you can see. Karakai Jouzu no Takagi-san didn't shy away from it either, and I wouldn't say that it's cliché. Cultural festivals are norms in Japan. Schools do that to display their students' academic achievements. To say it's cliché is stupid. There's nothing wrong with following the norm in your country, but it is a trope that we see very often. But if one thing is for sure, cultural festivals are always welcome. Going back to what happened at the cultural festival, Takagi's class decides to do a play.
a Romeo and Juliet type of play, but with a twist. Their names switched, and the prince is a pig. It was a frog at first, but our boy Kimura got the role. I think that the change they decided on is a bit rude. I feel bad for my boy Kimura, but he's pretty chill about it. However, we should switch our focus to Nishikata. In all honesty, he fought for the prince's role, which is weird. Or not. I mean, with how he's unsure of his feelings for Takagi, then of course it is. Not only that, but during the play, Nishikata acts as the substitute for Kimura's role after needing to go to the toilet. What happens next is something that I won't forget for a long time. For the next few episodes until the end, everything becomes different. It's no longer the same show about fun and games that we first saw when watching this show for the first time. It only makes sense for the story to take this turn, as it shows that our protagonists are growing and experiencing feelings that they might haven't felt before. To give you an idea of what I'm talking about, Takagi starts feeling jealous after seeing Nishikata and Hojo talk in the hallway. It got worse when Nishikata found 3 chocolate pieces inside his locker with a confession letter. He tries to hide it from Takagi, making her wonder if he trusts her. Due to this, Takagi starts acting coldly towards Nishikata, avoiding him and looking bored with all the games he initiates. Later on, the chocolates are revealed as misplaced and were for another person. Nishikata feels relieved after finding out, as he no longer has to hide anything from Takagi, only for her to disappear. Nishikata soon finds her in the shrine feeling guilty about acting coldly toward him. They soon reconciled. In the last episode, Takagi is absent from the class, saying that she has a wedding to attend. Nishikata feels like something is missing as he glances over to her desk. Nishikata didn't mind it too much and continued on his day, watching over the library with his friend Kimura. If we know anything about Kimura, he always creates opportunities for Takagi and Nishikata. During the library scene, Kimura read the book that Takagi was reading earlier in the season. Nishikata would soon be surprised as Kimura reveals that the book is of the action genre and not what Takagi said, a romance. Nishikata searches for the line that Takagi said to him, realizing that it was non-existent, that very line being
好きだよ.
Realizing this, he starts to wonder if Takagi's actions all those times were merely teasing or her true feelings for him. After knowing that he was being stupid, he runs up towards Takagi's home and upon reaching her home, only finds her leaving off in the car. But that doesn't stop him. He kept chasing after her until she noticed him and left the car to run to him. Then the scene happens.
高木さんに会いたかったから
西方の気持ち受け取ったから花びらの
I'm happy with how far these two have gotten. What started by playing games and teasing had now concluded with them finally realizing what they meant to each other. There's still an upcoming movie, but whatever happens now, I can say it's been such a long journey. Despite all the challenges that they went through, we knew in the beginning that it was going to be one happy ending.
好きだからからかうんだよそういえばお母さんもそんなこといやないない絶対ないって